Does semen retention give you superpowers? Well, guys, let's find out. I'm back again today with another enlightening video about semen retention. And guys, I have done a few of these already, so I don't want to be repeating my content too much. So I've got something very special for you. But first, welcome to HypnoVision Studios. I am your host, Nicholas. And yes, indeed, I do have something very special for you. I have taken a lot of my writing and I have asked ChatGTP to do some help in this. Now, one of my favorite people is indeed Nikola Tesla, and a lot of his famous inventions all can be traced back to one of his practices, and that was celibacy. And that will also help you to understand the key to the universe and what it means 3, 6, and 9. So you have to think in terms of energy. Energy, or the air, contains the static electricity. And guys, I'm going to read something to you that I think you will find very, very informative. Have you ever stopped to think about how the energy that powers your life works? Not just the calories from the food or the oxygen that you breathe, but a deeper force, the vital current that animates your body. That's a very important thing right there. Animates your body. That is the matter, right? That is one of the 3 parts of the key: mind, body, and soul. So the body is made of matter, and the energy is animating it. That is very, very interesting. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds in history, spoke about energy, frequency, and vibration as the keys to understanding the universe. And I believe Tesla was pointing us to something very profound. Not just the energy in machines, but the energy within us. Now think about this, guys. What is free energy? When your mind is free, then your energy is free to animate the body ever how you so desire, ever how you so choose. That is free will. That is free energy. So let's move forward. Tesla himself practiced celibacy, not out of repression, but for the reverence of the life force within. This aligns with the ancient practices of semen retention, which teaches us that the body's sexual energy is not merely for reproduction, but it is the vital essence of life and creativity. When you choose to retain, you're not just suppressing, you're redirecting. And guys, if you don't know, that is sexual transmutation. You are transmuting that energy into and redirecting it into a different flow. That is very interesting to me. Instead of letting your energy dissipate outward, you allow it to circulate inward, creating a powerful feedback loop. Let's think about energy as a circuit and your body as the most sophisticated system ever created, and that I do believe. This system has a 7 key energy center known as the chakras, which act as gateways for the flow of the life force. At the base of your spine is the root chakra, your foundation. It's the grounding wire that stabilizes you, connected to your senses of safety and survival. Moving upward, we soon reach the sacral chakra, the reservoir of sexual and creative energy. So guys, creative energy and sexual energy are highly intertwined. In fact, once you realize that just about everything in life is sexually charged, then you will start to understand the key to the universe a lot more clearer. So the sacral chakra is the reservoir of sexual energy and creative life force. This is the source of your passions, desires, and the life force itself, what many traditions call as prana or chi. When this energy is conserved through semen retention, it transforms. When the energy is conserved through semen retention, it transforms from mere physical energy into something much greater. As the energy rises, It powers the solar plexus chakra, your inner sun. Now, guys, if you watched my what they didn't tell you about semen retention video, I spoke about the sun and I spoke about prana. These were things that I had handwritten into my journaling. So it is always very nice to see this stuff kind of come back around as confirmation, not to just myself, but to have somebody to witness it with me. That's very awesome. So as this energy rises, it powers the solar plexus, which is your inner sun. This is where your personal strength, willpower, and confidence reside. From here, the energy flows into the heart chakra, the center of love and compassion. Retaining and redirecting energy allows us to feel your heart, strengthening not only your connection to others, but the connection to yourself. Then we come to the throat chakra, where energy turns into communication, truth, and expression. Now, guys, the throat chakra is where the vibration of sound comes from. It not only is speaking a form of sound and vibration, but you also have to think voice box. I am as I am that I am. Who am I not to trust that I am? Now, it also vibrates and reverberates inside of our chest. Those sounds affect our cells on a molecular, I can't even say it, molecular level. Man, I don't know why I get tongue-tied with that. So this is a real video. I'm not going to cut out any mistakes because I believe, trying to polish something too much, it becomes not authentic. So next we come to the third eye, your center of intuition and a higher perception. When your life force reaches this level, you begin to see beyond the physical, accessing wisdom and insight. And finally, the energy ascends to the crown chakra, your connection to the divine. Here, and I just got chill bumps when I said that, your connection to the divine. Here, the energy doesn't just stay within you. It connects to the infinite universe. Now, there are a lot of people that call it different things: universal life force, the energy field. There are all kinds of ways that you can describe this, but it is the biochemistry, the bioelectric chemistry, or aura, and we will get into that in a little bit. Now, let's tie this back to Nikola Tesla. He believed in the concept of free energy and unlimited source of power available to everyone. And it isn't exactly what semen retention does for us. It creates an internal Tesla coil. Think about this, guys. When you see the Kundalini and when you see the Cadeus, and I spoke about this before, how the two snakes are wrapped around a staff. You see this with Hermes Trismegistus. There's mind, body, soul. So all of these ancient civilizations have that trinity, or the triune brain, the mind, body, soul, or spirit, ever how you want to describe it from your perspective of background. But there is the three, right? The coil is called a Tesla coil. But what he done was he externalized what the internal function of the body is. And you can't patent that. And that is probably one of the biggest reasons that they tried to suppress Nikola Tesla and his work, or either try to control and tax people from benefiting from his work, benefiting from his creativity, and squashing not just mine, but other people's creativity, so you can be charged on the outside for your time. Wow. You may have to rewatch that to realize what I just said, but that was very deep. When you retain your energy, it does not leak outwardly. Instead, it is recycled, amplified, and redirected. It flows upward through your chakras, lighting up the entire system. Let me be clear. Semen retention isn't about repression or denying your sexuality. It is about mastering and choosing how to use your energy. When you release impulsively, you deplete this life force, short-circuiting your system. But when you retain, you are allowing this energy to rise and transform, fueling creativity, mental clarity, and spiritual growth. Now, I can attest to the mental clarity aspect of this. For the last 2 years, as this practice has gone on, I can tell you that there are things that I remember from a day-to-day basis so vivid and so clear that compared to other times in my life where I felt like I was just in this blur of happenings all around me and chaos. But now I'm able to focus and I'm able to channel my energy into creative projects. And so I do testify to that being true. Tesla believed his celibacy helped him access higher levels of thought and creativity. There we go again. He once said the mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude. No big laboratory was needed in which to think, and he was right. When you conserve your energy, you're not just protecting your vitality, you're enhancing it. Sharpening your mind and connecting to the universe of infinite potential. Through semen retention, you become the master of your own energy. You create a closed-loop system where energy flows inward and upward, awakening each chakra and aligning you with higher frequencies. Now, I spoke about frequencies before. There are many ways you can view this, but the amount of releasing is a frequency or is done too frequent, then you would deplete the energy within. Everything is on a cycle, and you are always producing more than you need, so the pleasure aspect of that can be a slippery slope. So I see during my research a lot of people asking, how do you break the addiction of too much frequency? Let's just say it that way. Too often, too much. It puts you in that depleted state of being. But one thing that this does not address, while it is talking about energy, and that does, you need neurons, you need dopamine, you need all the electrical impulses firing around, so you do need a strong electrical current in the body, but you also need blood. And the recirculation of the washing of the blood is the Christos oil traveling back up and going through the whole process in the pineal gland, pineal, ever how you want to pronounce that. So there is a lot that is happening there. So that is the mind, body, and soul, the Trinity. And if you also understand that, positive, negative, and neutral or common, which would create a circuit or a loop. So ask yourself, what could you achieve if you harnessed this power? What dreams could you manifest? What wisdom could you access? Like Tesla's vision of free energy for all, the potential within is limitless. The path is simple. Retain your energy and let it rise, and let it transform you. Become a Tesla coil within, resonating with infinite power of the universe. So guys, for me, this journey has been so many things. It's been very intense for me. And honestly, I'm already a pretty intense person as it is. So how do you break that cycle? For me, the whole idea, it was simple. The moment of imagining what it would be like all over again as a first-time experience. That's what it was for me. It was the letting go, the fear of saying that this may never happen again, that I may never release again. Well, that's a false assumption, for one. But number two, when we are trying to break the addiction, we can put too much focus on the addiction itself. And we put up this wall that seems larger than life. If I fail, it's all over. And so why even try? I can tell you guys, that is a lie to yourself. So if you are thinking thoughts like that, here's how you break it. You give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to know that if you make a mistake on this journey, that it is part of the learning curve. And if you are able to give yourself grace, then you will know later on that you will not beat yourself up if something were to happen. Now, one of the things with semen retention and celibacy and practicing with meditation, really the prana and the chi, which are different cultural things, but they all are centered around the energy in the body, is meditation, is sitting still, allowing the energy to flow. What does that mean? Well, number one, energy never rests. It can never be destroyed. It only transforms. So if you have an urge, then acknowledge the urge. Allow it to pass, but be observant of what the feelings and thoughts are at the time of the urge. That is how you start to awaken through self-awareness of I am. It is okay. There were times early on for me where breaking the habit itself was the most hardest part, because the habit was not just a mental thing, but it was also a physical thing, because our body gets used to the rhythms of life. Our body gets used to the automatic things that we don't have time to think about, but our body helps us carry out these actions. How many times have you ever traveled somewhere and then you realize, like, how did I get here? Or you missed your turn or whatever because you were not paying attention. So you start to understand that time really is an illusion, because it is only there when you are paying attention. And the only way to pay attention is through the energy. So emotions are the credit that we are charging the thoughts. And emotions is what is animating the body and putting the matter into motion. That is the 3, 6, and 9. That is, if you understand the keys to the universe, think in the terms of energy, thought, and energy, emotions, and matter, mind, body, and soul, the triune brain, the Trinity. And Nikola Tesla was a very great inventor when it came from taking things in the imagination and manifesting them into a physical way in which others could observe, and not only observe, but experience and better their life. So I do believe that free energy in those terms is not just his inventions. It is the free energy that is in the human body that the people who understood this wanted to suppress. And if you could suppress this knowledge and keep people from understanding the free energy concept within them and give them something in place of it, job security, 40-hour week, insurance, health benefits, vacation, materialism, buy, consume, work. Those things keep you trapped in the proverbial metaphorical rat race, and a lot of times does not allow you to think for yourself. And if you just think back in modern times, when my parents and when their parents were growing up, there were a lot of times where the mother would be a stay-at-home mom, the father could work, they could afford a house, they could afford 2 cars most of the time. Now, they may not have had everything, but it was there, right? And now you have to have 2 people working, and you can barely afford to buy anything at all. So we stay in this loop, or this feedback of fear, anxiety, panic, stress, which changes the chemical makeup in our body. And so we turn to pleasure seeking, or to relieve our mind from these things, which in turn just somewhat compounds the problem. Because when it comes to sexuality, yes, it is for enjoyment. Yes, it is for recreation. And yes, it is for reproducing. But like everything else, it needs to have a balance. And when there is a charge or a tax on your physical system, your energy centers within, it has to be paid with emotion, which is the energy. So it does stunt your creativity. If you are constantly depleted, then you are not creating new life within. And if you're not creating new life within, then the ideas are not illuminated. Think about it like that. That's pretty interesting way to put it. Now, I have on my notes over here, and I keep looking over here, the word starseed, and I want to really kind of touch off on this because I don't think I got around to it last time. There is a reel that is on my channel. You'll have to go and find it. But it is about the moment of conception of life. There is a burst of light that happens within the egg. Now, I've been thinking about that for a very long time. The moment of conception, there is a flash of light. So think about this, guys. You've heard the terms like soul ascension, descension, starseed, starburst, things like that. So what is consciousness itself? Is it derived from that life force? The initial seed, now I talked about this before, the Godhead seed that multiplies from the inside, right? Just how plants, they come up out of the ground and it's inside out. It grows from the inside outward. So if you plant that seed in the soul, which again, the soul of the earth, or the soul, it could be planted in the egg of the woman. The conception is the burst of light. Let there be light. And then the firmament, waters above. So you are literally growing in the waters, protected by a firmament. And then you are birthed through the channel into the physical, material world. Now, the idea of ascension is now as you grow and evolve, you're traveling back up the spine, right? This is all symbology. This is all metaphorically. There's allegory, especially when it comes to the Bible and stuff like that. A lot of ancient teachings, you have to understand that people will cling to the Bible as a literal definition, but each person is going to get something different from it, from their own perception. But that is not the all end all be all, because you have the authority to write too. You have an imagination too. You have a connection to the same creator that I do, that Tesla did, that Gandhi did. He was another one that practiced celibacy. Steve Jobs, another one that practiced celibacy. Muhammad Ali. There are a lot of great people that were really masters of their own crafts, and they all have this one thing in common. And one of the things semen retention does require is to have mental discipline, to be able to put the mind over the primal urges of the body, and that will allow you to learn to work in symbiosis with each other. So the body itself has its own language, and the conscious mind has its own language. You could say logic and emotion, or being analytical and just being creative, because sometimes a very creative person may not always be, these are two different modes, really. So a creative person might get that spark of creativity, and then they will work like a madman because they are inspired. They have caught the feeling, they have caught this spark, and they go to town, they go to work on it. As where somebody who is analytical might just repeat things that have worked before, or struggle. But the creative person is always going to be a person who's thinking more outside of the box, who is the one that is standing out in the crowd oftentimes, because they are so different than everybody else. They don't conform to the patterns of the outside world, which is Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the patterns of the outside world, but be renewed by transforming the mind, which is the washing of the blood, might I add. So if you understand the profound transformation that comes with semen retention, the 28-day cycle that is connected with the lunar cycles, the moon cycle, the menstrual moon cycles, and the ascension and descension of the Christos oil that is traveling and circulating in the body. It travels through those 7 centers. So it makes a lot of sense when you hear the 7 seals of Revelation in the Bible. Think about this. Something is sealed. There are 7 seals in the Bible. If something is sealed, then hermetically sealed would be the term. That is where you get the term hermistes trismegistus. I can only imagine that hermetically sealed, if you look up the definition, is something that is sterile. And if you understand that semen, when it comes out, before it makes contact or is contaminated by the outside world, it is sterile, pristine. It is in the most pristine form it can be in. So hermetically sealed means that you would have to open up each one of those 7 seals. And if you understand that the chakras have petals on them, so the chakra opens up, and I think it's 144 petals. I could be wrong, but I think that is what it is on the petals. So you have 7 seals, 7 chakras, and you also have the 7 hermetic laws. So to unseal the 7 chakras would be to understand the 7 seals and to understand the 7 hermetic laws and allowing things to flow. One of those is the law of correspondence, which is as above, so below, as within, so without. Your inner thoughts are creating your outer reality. And what does that mean? Life is a reflection, and what you put out, you get back, how you reap what you sow kind of stuff. I can tell you that creating content in the past 2 years, being on camera has been a lot like mirror work, and it's been one of the biggest drivers for me to continue to improve myself. It's a lot like going to the gym, and because you go to the gym, even if you don't feel like going to the gym, because you went there and because you're surrounded by other people that are working out, you're going to work out. As to where, like, if you have a home gym and you go downstairs or you go into your gym and you don't feel like working out, you're probably going to like skip out and kind of psych yourself out. So the environment does matter to a degree, but if you're going to do it, do it. If you're not going to do it, stop wasting time thinking about it, because your attention span has now broadened, requiring more bandwidth of thought. So there's a lot of static and a lot of things that are in your attention span that are eating away at your energy and your creativity, for that matter. So energy is emotion in motion. And if you understand that 369 concept with Nikola Tesla, you've got the key to the universe right there. The other thing you need to do is meditate and probably buy you some notebooks and different color pens. That's what I did. I started to journal in different color pens. And I've spoke about this before. Ask myself in one color, respond in a different color. It is okay. We all have these contradicting voices in our heads at times where we think something and then we say, oh no, well, that won't work, or this won't work. And we go back and forth, this indecisive thinking. But our initial second thought or second feeling is usually going to be the right one, because the initial one can be impulsive at times. So taking an extra second to think about it before you react, or think about it before you take action. That is the movie that we are living in, right? We are actors taking action in our own movies from our own imagination. And guys, I just hit 30 minutes on the clock. And I want to tell each and every one of you, thank you so much. And I do think my next semen retention video will be on the connection to the feminine aspect, not just within, but actual women. Now, the biochemistry on this one is going to be insane. And I do hope you stick around and come back next time.